is you really down to pay the cost. Reverse the role, you can play the boss. Already know my vision is faded. I try to evade it, but can't. I know you far from insane, but I keep lying to me. Cause I've been dying to me, and it feel like I follow you out in the street, and I promise you all that I know. Everywhere to my mind.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Here we are with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson. You're watching.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet?
We're live, though, with a Chicago, and as things. Well, Kevin, and they need him to be that way, DA. Thank you, especially after Tim Duncan's retirement and Manu and TP getting older. This is Kawhi's team now, for sure. And the season just getting underway. Chris, we've heard some players and coaches say that the 82-game regular season schedule is a bit too long. What do you think?
I think they've been playing 82 games since the seasons and since players that before us have come along, and I think that we keep in that same tradition. I think we're the only sport that constantly talks about changing the number of games and everything else. I don't know how you keep tradition. I don't know how you keep numbers, statistics. So 82 games, I don't feel is too much. I mean, look at the money players are getting paid too now. There's more incentive. So 82 games, I've done it. It's not too hard. You're going to get injuries. You're going to be tired, but this is a tough job, and you know, guys are strong enough to handle it. I'm an 82-game guy, as you can see. I'll keep saying 82 games, 82 games, 82
Clear
games.
as a bell, I can see you're an 82-game guy.
Yeah.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court right now for the Spurs, Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. The defensive tandem of Green and Leonard outside. And it's Parker in at point guard. And the Spurs making a change here. Mills is checked in. And a great assist by Aldridge as that one goes in.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Well, that's just the aggressiveness of transition, making sure they come away with points.
Now, here's Grant. Pass to Wade. And the foul called on Danny Green. That's his first foul. And now, just over a minute played here in the first. Grant the pass to Wade. And it's off target. Not sure why he took that one. There's the dish to Mills. Back to Leonard. Over Wade. And it's Leonard missing.
No flow to their offense at all yet. I mean, just 1 for 5 from the floor to start the game.
Grant gets a wide open look. And the Bulls with another miss. For San Antonio, they've gone just 1 for 5 from the field to start the quarter. And Kawhi Leonard, the only player other than Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon to be an all-star starter. Greg win the Defensive Player of the Year and win a Finals MVP award.
And Kevin, I think it's fair to say that's some lofty company to be in. You know, you're worried with the retirement of Tim Duncan. Would the Spurs go through a lull? And they found another two-way superstar to kind of build their team around, much in the same in terms of mannerisms as a Tim Duncan.
Aldridge. The shot comes out. Bosh with some nice D. Knocked loose. Grant outside. And Aldridge comes over to help. Bosh, no one around him. Hits it from three-point range. Bosh has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. San Antonio trailing here. Outside, Green. Leonard kicks to Aldridge. Chris Bosh with the rebound.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him.
Here's Valentine. Off target from outside. The Spurs have gone just 2 of 8 shooting so far, just 25%. Aldridge dishes to Gasol. And Aldridge slams it in.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I tell you what, it's like football, having a 3rd and 13 and them running up the gut. It just frustrates the defense. You have to hate giving up second chance points. It's demoralizing. After basically, I mean, you had to stop.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Markkanen, he's checked in for Lopez. Bobby Portis comes in for Chris Bosh. Mirotic is checked in for Denzel Valentine. And Levine subbed in for Dwayne Wade.
His percentage from the field is not very strong this quarter.
And Chris, you played during an era against a team that many consider the greatest of all time, that 96 Chicago Bulls team with Jordan and Pippen and a great roster. Just thinking back to that team during that second three-peat, what was it like when you were going up against that Bulls team?
So tough to play against that team. Jordan, arguably the best player that's ever, laced them up, and Pippen was so tough offensively and rebounding. Rodman as well on the boards, and then you had guys in a system that was, just really too much. It's hard to say. Of course, in my opinion, having played against them, they're the best team of all time. But Bill Russell once told me, ghosts can't play, so don't get caught up in comparing eras that you really can't prove it. So, yeah, of course they're the best of all time to me, but it's fun watching these young kids play today.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Got that bucket in no time at all. 6 points for Zach LaVine.
Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 have been triple.
And it goes down 2 points. If they play the clock right, they can go 2 for 1.
Just got to time it up right.
Portis kicks to LaVine. There's the double team with Ginobili. Portis, the pass to LaVine. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. LaVine's got 8 points.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Kicks it out to Gay. Anderson in the post, working on Portis, and that one is good.
Yeah, these defenders just looked a bit overmatched, especially inside.
Now, here's Grant. He's guarded closely. Mirotic's shot is off. Ginobili kicks to Murray with 4 seconds on the clock, and he lays it up and in. Murray's got his first basket of the night.
And that unpredictable nature of Ginobili, it can be frustrating for the defense, especially when he's cutting them to pieces with his passing.
We've got more in store for you right after this. The San Antonio Spurs have really popularized that
attack and find the open teammate.
There's a lot to be said for knowing, Greg, who you are and what your game plan is, and there may be no other team that gets that better than the San Antonio Spurs.
And Kevin, it helps to have that core of Manu and Tony there as the foundation, and coaches on the floor for each new wave of players that have come through this Spurs organization.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And guys, what's your take on the Bulls so far?
I mean, you saw it. That barrage of threes has them grooving here after one.
Well, there's not enough defensive pressure on the perimeter. We'll see in the second quarter if that gets corrected.
Mirotic is out there with Portis. Then it's Zach LaVine. Then there's Grant. And it's Markkanen in at the 5. That's the Bulls' 5 as we get into the second quarter. And both free throws good for Anderson. And, of course, NBA players have all reached this pinnacle through dedication, through very hard work. Chris, can you talk about the hard work and effort that goes into playing and succeeding at this NBA level?
Well, if you're in high school or middle school, when your friends are at the movies, you're on the basketball court. When your friends are hanging out at a party, you're at the basketball court. When your friends and his family on vacation, you're at the basketball court. I don't think many people understand the dedication. For many guys, it's more than 4 hours a day in the gym, and a lot of that is just sitting in the gym, just smelling the gym. Of course you're going to work out, of course you're going to shoot, but it's everything basketball. On my wall I had Dominique, Magic, Bird, I had all these guys, Isaiah, cut out magazines, and I would put their pictures on my wall and work out and do push-ups looking at them, and I would know their moves, I would know everything. I remember Kenny Smith after his dunk contest, he stood at the free throw line and threw the ball between his legs, threw it off the backboard and dunked. I went in the backyard in Detroit, shoveled the snow, and we worked on that dunk all night, freezing. I mean, you have to love it. So, when you love something, my father taught me, it's not work. And so you got to start with the love, and then all the other work and dedication is just part of the journey.
I love the message, but boy, I like that Kenny Smith story. That is a great, great story. Parker with the steal. And Ginobili with a clear path to the rack. And it's good on the assist by Parker.
You can't forget about Ginobili's activity defensively. Does a great job of using his hands to come up with steals.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. They're getting their first look of the season at San Antonio in this one.
Yeah, interconference matchup. Two teams that'll see each other only twice on the schedule.
And that makes it interesting. They don't know each other all that well, so we should see a lot of in-game adjustments.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Lopez, he's checked in for Markkanen. Wash comes in for Bobby Portis. Valentine's checked in for Mirotic. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Jaren Grant. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
And some players, you just kind of know that they'll end up in coaching. Just the way they approach the game and go about themselves. Chris, having played Hoiberg during your career, did you ever see him becoming a head coach?
Well, it's not as easy to tell your opponents versus your teammates. Didn't have a really close relationship with them. Didn't know or his expectations, never played with them. So, no, I never saw it coming.
Bulls have gone 1 for 1, making their previous attempt at the line.
And when you look at their numbers from a season ago, 80% as a unit, that's something you'll be happy with.
What an advantage for a big man to have, that smooth stroke at the line.
LaVine against Parker. Lopez sets a screen for LaVine. No good from outside. Spurs trail by 6. Aldridge dishes to Parker. Quarter number 2, around 3 minutes gone by. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. The Spurs have shot 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight.
And when you look at their numbers from a season ago, 80% as a unit, that's something you'll be happy with. And Pau Gasol, one of the most skilled 7-footers this league has ever seen. Whether it's the low post, high post, flaring off picks, you want the ball in his hands.
Now here's LaVine.
Oh. And I don't know if there's anybody who can match LaVine when it comes to the art of the dunk. He is a highlight reel waiting to happen.
And the replay presented, of course, by Under Armour. Unleash chaos. Great stuff and some great basketball going on. Here's Green. No good there. And the Bulls going the other way now. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. In the corner, it's LaVine. Again, LaVine missing.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And Danny Green, undrafted out of North Carolina. He's been a linchpin of the Spurs' great defense over his career.
You know, 6'6" with that 6'10" wingspan. This is a guy that can block shots like a big man, guards 3 positions, and one of the guys that we call the prototype when you talk about that 3 and D wing player.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Murray comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. And stolen by Murray.
Defense is all about anticipation, and he had perfect anticipation on that pass and comes away with the steal. And that's such good work to make this a 1-possession game. Terrific steal to get it all started.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. A chance here to assess what parts of the floor the attempts have been coming from as we look at the shot chart for Chicago.
And they haven't been able to exploit the 3 from the corner. Maybe some better ball movement would help open the floor and get that shot into their arsenal.
Now here's Wade. 14 points from him the last game against Toronto. Just 5 to shoot. Yep, that one goes. 7 points for Chris Bosh.
I like the awareness on the court from Wade. He's excellent at scanning the floor to set up the open teammate.
Leonard the pass to Gasol. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock.
Oh, he's not happy to pick up a second foul. This early in the game, he's got to be careful now.
Chicago shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game. He's off on the first. He hits the second from the line.
Yeah, nice job of drawing the contact and creating opportunities at the line.
And Mills kicks to Leonard. Mills dishes to Gasol. Count the basket. Gasol's got his 3rd basket of the night.
And the long arms that Gasol has is what allows him to drop dunks on defenders. What a powerful force close to the rim.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. It's the Bulls. They're up by 1. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Kawhi, you have grown so much.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the 3rd quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports
Hello,
Halftime
folks. Welcome
Show.
back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal. Zach LaVine was the man in the first. He had 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. And Kenny, what did you think about what you saw from Chicago?
Well, there was one pleasant surprise, and that was the bench. They gave him a big...
And we're just about ready for the start of the 3rd quarter. Kevin.
Welcome back to the hustle and bustle of Chicago. A time-lapse view of Chicago leading. And the Spurs, Greg, one of the best defensive teams in the league for 2 seasons running.
And it's really all about execution. They seem to just move in concert and stay connected. No silly fouls. And with their length, nothing easy inside.
On the court right now for the Spurs. Filling out the wings, it's Green and Leonard. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. And it's Parker in at the point guard position.
And being that Bosh is 6'11", dunking comes easy, and once he's this close to the basket, he's ready to attack.
That's tipped, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. Let's take this chance to see which of last season's teams had the most second chance points in the league. Number 1, the Bulls.
Yeah, that was a huge factor for them a season ago. Their ability to attack the offensive glass and then convert those into second chance buckets. I mean, no one did it better.
Parker with the steal. Here's Gasol, and finished off by Gasol.
Yeah, the assist by Parker, just brilliant. Really seeing his teammates out there.
Green against Wade. And the foul called on Danny Green. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Mirotic is checked in for Valentine. Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Bosh, the screen. Wade kicks to Grant. High, arcing shot. Basket, good. And the Bulls lead by 3. And San Antonio shooting 47%, pretty solid. Parker passes to Leonard. To the middle. Lopez with the steal. Wade dishes to Bosh. The quick look, no good that time.
I like the shot selection on that one, despite the miss.
Stolen by Bosh. Grant against Parker. Back to Grant. Mirotic, a screen on Parker. And the call will be against Tony Parker. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Chris, during your career, you always had incredible footwork in the post. Who are some of the bigs that impress you with their footwork today?
Oh, wow. I think you have to look down in New Orleans. I mean, they have two great examples in Cousins and Davis, two guys that can dance with the best of them. You look at Minnesota and that young fella Cat there, the way that he plays and moves his feet and how he handles it in the post, you have to love it. But I love where the big men are today because they have great footwork. They have the skill set of the small guys and still use their size. But those three come to mind right now.
It's not a lost art either. I think guys realize that their footwork is sometimes their ticket to a good career.
They're better, and if not, they need to open the basketball history books and look at guys like Akeem Olajuwon and Kevin McHale, two of the best ever with footwork. And that's why, you know, it's fun growing up playing other sports because it prepares you for basketball. It prepares you having to quit work and having to be a big guy but still being light on your feet.
Oh, just solid on the one-handed slam.
And guys, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball. And the foul called on Danny Green. That will get him his fourth foul of the game. Bulls making a switch here. Levine's checked in. San Antonio also making some changes. Rudy Gay's checked in for Laverne. Ginobili comes in for Green, and it's Mills in for Parker.
And you watch Wade and know he isn't the same player he was back when he averaged 30 a game. But in short bursts, he can still give you a glimpse of that old flash. He knows when and how to dial it up when the game is on the line.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. And Chris, as you said, Wade can still take over a game for a short period of time.
There aren't many players that are scarier with the ball in their hands with the game on the line than Wade. He just has a knack for coming up big when his team needs him.
And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a free run for him there.
Well, yeah, and you have to give him credit, too. Makes the right read go straight to the rim.
Mirotić's shot is off.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
A nice shot by Anderson.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
Chicago's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Portis kicks to Levine, and Kyle Anderson gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. And one of the pieces of the Jimmy Butler trade this offseason, Zach LaVine finds himself as a prime building block for a rebuilding team. The Bulls see him as a star of the future.
And rightfully so, even given the fact that he's recovering from the ACL surgery. LaVine is young and can grow his game with the team. Hard to get fair value for a player of Butler's ability, but LaVine is a great place to start.
Now here's Valentine. He's covered by Gay. And again, Chicago, no good. Down low.
And 2 for 1, that's what they'd like to get right now.
Yeah, this could come down to the correct play call. Let's see what they do right here.
And there's the call on Ginobili. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. Bulls have knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well. Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Kawhi Leonard, he's checked in for Anderson, and Murray's subbed in for Manu Ginobili. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Gay outside to the inside, and it will go, and the Bulls' lead is cut down to just 2 points with the bucket from Patrick Mills.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
Mirotić has a wide-open look, traps in the tray. Mirotić has got 6 points.
And those aren't the type of three-point opportunities that you can allow in the NBA.
Gay passes to Leonard for the 3. Can't connect. And as we end the third quarter, a great game. Both teams playing well. Bulls lead by 5. And will return shortly. Fred Hoiberg in a recent huddle with his players.
Better contest, better contest. All right, keep getting the pace going, guys. We're getting great looks.
Fred Hoiberg happy with some of the shots they're getting, but still wanting better defense.
Yeah, I mean, their energy on offense hasn't been quite matched up on the other end. He's hoping that can even out.
We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. LaVine is out there with Valentine. Then there's Mirotic. Then there's Chris Bosh. And it's Lopez in at the center. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Bosh sets the pick for Mirotic. Bosh, the screen. Here's Valentine. That one goes. Count it. Valentine's got... The first points up on the board here in the 4th for the Bulls. Mills with it, and Bosh picks him up defensively. Kicks it out to Leonard. Murray dishes to Gay. Spurs passing it around. Mills passes to Gasol. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
And guys, all about hard work from this point on. They've worked hard to create that high-quality shot and then able to knock it down.
Levine kicks to Lopez. Shoots from the high post. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Levine's got 19 points.
And the jump shot has been a dimension of this game where they've had a clear advantage.
San Antonio calls timeout. And certainly while the injury for Zach LaVine and his ACL was devastating, Greg, it's good to see him back on the court, and he seems to be on track to making a full recovery.
And Kevin, still amazing to me to see just how far the medical community has come in terms of treating ACL injury. LaVine is such an athletic monster. To lose even a little burst would have been huge. Fortunately, though, with modern medicine, it's going to allow this guy to make the most of his potential still.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Greg Popovich talking to his team during the break. He told them flat out, we are turning the ball over too much, guys. We can't keep making the hero ball play. Slow it down, run the offense, and make the safe pass. Back to you, Kevin.
There's no quitting Lopez. Even when he's getting hammered, he finishes with this soft touch.
Dwayne Wade's checked in for Chicago. You look back on the last 5 off seasons or so, Chris, and there are usually huge names that change teams. LeBron, Durant, the first names that come to mind. As you went through the free agency process, how much of an influence did your agent or any sponsorships play in your role in that decision in picking your new team?
Yeah, I think every relationship with the player and their agent is different. For me, I wanted to go back to the place that I felt that was loyal to me. I wanted to go back to Sacramento because there had never been a small market team. I felt a really small market team that won a championship. And I saw Karl Malone try for all of those years. I saw Stockton try for all those years. Reggie try for all those years. And so I really wanted to be one of the first to kind of bring that back to the city. So my agent, my shoe company, no one could have said anything to take me away from that. That was a personal mission that I want, and I knew what I was dealing with at that time. But I think for other guys it's different. Some guys, want more commercials. They like to be in a bigger market. Some guys don't want that, and they're happy at staying under the radar like a Tim Duncan as long as he's winning. So I think for every guy is different, and I really believe that you have to make that decision for yourself and your family first, because if you do that, then the fans wherever you go will be much happier because you want to be there. You're not just buying time there.
Gasol kicks to Green. Dishes it to Leonard. Gay in the corner. Inside, Gasol. Then Gasol with the dunk.
And Gasol is someone you turn to in these situations. Need a big basket, he's ready to go.
To the paint, here's Lopez, and Lopez throws it down.
And guys on defense gasping for air at this point.
Well, that's because both offenses are relentless, each side trying to close this thing out.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Zach LaVine.
And his shooting percentage reflects just how efficient he's been. It's better than 50%, always a sign of a solid offensive performance. But his movement and his shot selection have also both been tremendous.
This is as good a game as we've seen him play. And this crowd can't get enough of it. When he explodes like this, it becomes a special atmosphere in here. LaMarcus Aldridge, he's checked in for Rudy Gay. Parker dishes to Gasol. Lopez with the block.
Well, Lopez is out there to set the tone defensively. I mean, he's a wildly strong defender who sends shots back with authority.
Fires from the corner. No good from Wade.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
And Leonard gets it to go.
Great move to get to the rim. I think they're going to take the aggressive approach down the stretch.
I mean, that's the right call. Make the defense get physical with you and pick up some fouls in the process.
And a fast break now for the Spurs. Gasol, no good.
Just the presence of the D in the lane is enough to make him short-arm that layup.
There's the triple. The rebound by Gasol.
You can't miss those, but even the best do on occasion.
And it's out of bounds, and they say it was last touched by Leonard. Chicago's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Grant the pass to Valentine. Here's Wade. San Antonio with the rebound. Leonard kicks to Green. Gasol dishes to Parker. Tries a three. Bosch grabs the miss. And here are the Bulls now. And so they choose to intentionally foul. Four seconds separating the shot and game clocks. And the call will be against Tony Parker. And so he's picked up his final foul. And he will sit for the rest of this game. The Spurs making a switch here. Mills is checked in, and he cannot convert on the second. That misses. And they go to the intentional foul.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
Good on the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 8. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, what's your take?
And this is what happens when you dig yourself a hole it's hard to climb out of.
They can only blame themselves. A few missed opportunities, some miscues that they'd like to have back. It all adds up.
And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That will get him his fourth foul of the game, and due to the bonus, we'll head to the line for 2. That's also good, so he hits both free throws.
You've got to figure those are the free throws that officially put this game out of reach.
Outside, Ginobili, the offensive rebound. Anderson passes to Laverne. Shoots the three. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. A confident win in one. Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now.
A long way from blasting. On blocks, went from Seiko to Rolex. Owning acres from the projects with no chips to large cake, though. Dimes giving Siete zeros. Bet my spit for the pesos, but what's it all worth? Can't take it with you under this earth. Rich men died and tried, but none of it worked. They just your grave. I'd rather be alive and paid before my numbers call. History's made. Some will fall, but I rise, thug or die. Making choices that determine my future under the sky. I'm wondering why it's a dirty game. Is any man worthy of fame? Much success to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is. Not just like life or death. My rebel. My poetry's deep, I never felt. Not just like half man, half amazing. Come on, no doubt. Not just like life or death. My rebel. My poetry's deep, I never felt. Not just like half man, half amazing. No doubt. Not just like. But nothing sweet. I'm like beef busting through your windows. I'm like Greeks in Egypt learning something deep from their teachers. I'm like crime, like your man you would die for. Always got you. I'm like Pop Dude you would cry for. I'm like a whole lot of loot. I'm like Chris Money. Corporate accounts from a rich company. I'm like for ladies. I'm like all races combined in one man. Like the 99 Summer Jam. I'm a man, I'm like being locked down around new faces, and none of them fan. I'm the feeling of a millionaire spending 100 grand. I'm a poor man's dream, a thug poet. Live it and I write it down, then I watch it blow up. Y'all know what I'm like, y'all play it in your system every night now. Not just like life or death, I'm a rebel. My poetry's deep, I never felt. Not just like half man, half amazing. No doubt. Not just like life or death, I'm a rebel. My poetry's deep, I never felt. Not just like man, half amazing. No doubt. Not just like.
Flip mode. 9-7. Bust a bus. Hot. Check it out. Hit you with no delay into what you saying, yo. Silly with your ice, grilly with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club like we while in the studio. You know when to violate, baby, really and truly, yo. My main thug, villain ain't Julio, he moody, yo. Type of brother that'll slap you with the tulio. Real shook, scared to death, act fruity, yo. X that, looking shorty, she a little cutie, yo. The way she make me wanna get all in the video. Top. Them videos, while I'm with my freak like we up in the freak shows. With the make you feel it all in your toes. Hot. Got all my people in red clothes. Telling my metaphors when I formulate my flows. If you don't know, you're messing with lyrical player pros. Like that. You really wanna party with me? Let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands where my eyes can see. Straight buck wildin' in the place to be. If you really wanna party with me, let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands where my eyes can see. Straight buck wildin' in the place to be. If you really wanna party with me, ain't gonna be trust. Yo, it's a must that you heard of us. Yeah, we. A lot of people is wondering and they're curious. How me and my unit do it is so mysterious. Furious, all of my people is serious. Shook others be walking around fearing us. Front, baby, like you don't wanna be hearing us. Gotta listen to Harry, he'll be playing us. 30 times a day to make you delirious. Damaging everything all up in your area. Yo, it's funny how be always serving us. All up in between they where they wanna carry us. Hit you good, then I hit them off with the alias. Various. They wanna marry us. Yo, it's flip mode, you stupid, you know we bout to bust. 7-figure money, the label preparing us. Bite the dust instead of you making the fuss. People know better cause they ain't no comparing us. Mad at us, yes you know better, we fabulous. Hit my people off with the flow, that be marvelous. Oh, my whole clique victorious. Taking no prisoners with us, straight up warriors. When I feel it, then I know you be feeling so glorious. Then we blitz and reminisce on my people notorious. We really wanna party like that. Let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands where my eyes can see. Straight buck wildin' in the place to be. If you really wanna party with me, let me see just what you got for me. Put all
Vengo al mondo d'estate, Dio mi parla nel sonno, mi dice scusi quanto state, ho il permesso di soggiorno, sono nuovo da queste parti, parto ma non so se torno, non stare sveglio ad aspettarmi, questo è l'anno dei miracoli, crack si mangia coi tentacoli, muore Berlinguer, Maradona al Napoli, io sempre col pallone in mano 7 su 7, piedi nudi sull'asfalto tra le vie strette, l'anno in cui la Apple prova il primo Mac, Crystal Ball, cozze crude con limone, dinastia di pescatori, mio padre non fa il butta fuori, rinchiusi dentro il bunker, niente router, no computer, pezzi di ricambio per gli scooter, fermo il tempo che scorre, buco il sole risorge, soffio sull'occhio di George Orwell, i primi bling fossili, io solo film sui mostri, cresco in fretta, parlo poco, sembra autistico, l'arte è cibo per la mente e frequento l'artistico, e se il treno passerà una volta sola, sarò di parola, dopo scuola lascerò il mio nome sopra con il viola, e tu che aspetti in coda e guardi la firma se cola, ne hai visto nascere.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us here on 2K Sports. I'm your host.
There it is, maybe the most famous building in all of Texas. It's the and with pregame routine.
Thank you, Kevin.
Great stuff, DA. Coach Casey definitely gets the best out of his guys. You can tell they love playing for him. Hey, Brent, right off the bat, we're already seeing several big-name rookies struggle a little bit. Talk about the adjustment going from being the star player, the guy on your college team, to becoming, initially at least, a contributor in the NBA.
I think it's difficult, the mental adjustment for a player to come to practice and do all the things to prepare for a practice and then work extra either before or after practice, Kevin, and then go to a game, put on your uniform, and sit. It's just not something that they're used to. They haven't done it for
not
10,
natural, right.
or 10 or 12 years. And so it's important to have three things at that point, Kevin. One, a coach that continues to tell you what you need to work on. Two, an assistant coach that works with you daily on the things that the coach has told you about. And the last part is having a veteran guy as a mentor. That can be extremely important in you keeping your confidence and the idea of be ready, stay ready when your opportunity presents itself.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. Setting the floor for the Raptors. Lowry and DeRozan are the 1 and the 2. They create so much offense. Ibaka is the 4 and Valanciunas in the middle. And it's Miles in its small forward. And Valanciunas out of Lithuania, the 5th overall pick back in 2011.
Yeah, he's still quite young. You know, a lot of talent offensively. Defensively, he's probably had less of an impact, but that's where he has to take the next step. And among NBA bigs, he is known for his ability to deliver at the free throw line.
Murray kicks to Leonard. Aldridge inside, Ibaka on him. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
There's that 7'5" wingspan coming into play. Aldridge easily making that look inside.
It's good. DeRozan's got his first basket of the night.
This is the kind of guy that you wake up in a cold sweat the night before you play him. Just a matchup nightmare. Tricky, confident, and he takes on all comers. Now their offense is rolling. A perfect start. 4 of 4 so far.
Outside Lowry. Screened by Valanciunas. Outside Lowry. Unloads from 13. And that one drops for him.
And that's what makes Lowry a great floor leader. Just unselfish in his attitude and great awareness of how to keep his teammates involved.
Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line. Serge Ibaka picks one up there. San Antonio shooting their first free throw of the night. And you look at the Raptors, one of the top teams in the East, Greg, but do they have a chance to go all the way?
I think they're a threat to make the finals. Can they win it all? They may be a piece or two away, but still a young and aggressive core. They continue to try to add pieces, and this is a group that has proven they want to win and win now.
Sinks the triple.
And not entering the league as a natural catch-and-shoot guy, Ibaka certainly has developed this part of his game.
His second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
That's a talented guy getting too easy a look. Might have been a miscommunication on that one.
Well, just the first quarter, everyone's still getting adjusted. That said, on defense, you have to bring help sooner.
That's his second foul of the first quarter, and they may want to sit him for a while to avoid number 3.
Parker's checked in for the Spurs. Raptors also changing it up. Nogueira's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Pascal Siakam comes in for Serge Ibaka. And Norman Powell subbed in for C.J. Miles. The Spurs come into this one following a loss to Chicago.
And you know what? They were giving away points, missing at the line. A big factor in the outcome.
I'm just wondering if this home crowd and the energy worked against them in this one. They might have gotten in their heads just a little bit.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Pau Gasol, he's checked in for Laverne. Kyle Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Davis Bertans checks in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Ginobili in for Danny Green. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Wright, and Gasol sends it back.
Gasol did not stop moving his hands there, especially as the shot was going up. Always going to be right there to send anything back if it's close.
Parker kicks to Gasol. Back to Parker. Spurs working the ball around now. There's Tennis, the pass to Gasol. Beautiful hit. And the layup goes down.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Wright dishes to DeRozan. And that's a foul called on Davis Bertans. That is his first foul of the game. Wright with it. Powell kicks to DeRozan. With a step back. No good off the back of the rim.
Just like to see the defensive effort get better for their ball club. They can't expect guys to miss the mid-range Jays every time.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Wright, the pass to Nogueira. Outside DeRozan. Wright sets a screen. Rejected by Gasol. Bertans kicks to Ginobili. That one goes in. Ginobili's got his first bucket in this one.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Here's Siakam. Rebounded by the Spurs. This, their first look at this year's Toronto squad.
Yeah, and they got the better of this matchup both times they faced off last season. Do they still have their number?
Well, we'll find out. Such talent on the floor tonight on each side of the matchup. There's some conference pride at stake, too, with both teams being among the cream of the crop in the East and the West.
DeRozan against Gay to end the run. He can't get that one.
No doubt disappointed with that one. He'd love to have that one back.
Yeah, I'd put that play on repeat. The setup was perfect. Just need a better result next time.
And so it's the San Antonio Spurs going into the break with a 10-point lead. They're shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from the field. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And the Gasol brothers, Pau, talked about the joy of sharing the NBA stage with...
It's like a dream come true. It's hard to really picture it.
Well, their story is a bit like a fairy tale, the way two of them, sons of medical professionals in Spain, have become two of the best centers in the NBA of this era.
Especially when you remember what a raw talent and how big and bulky Marc Gasol was when he was drafted by the Lakers. I mean, they traded him to Memphis for his brother, and that does all seem like fiction, doesn't it?
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And taking a look at San Antonio's performance here, what do you think they've been doing or not doing?
A huge fan of how they have rotated here defensively, been able to challenge multiple shots.
And if you're rotating like that, it's got to be a great line of communication between all five guys. You see that reflected on the scores, all that trust showing up with the lead.
So on the floor for Toronto to start this second quarter. They've got Wright. He's out there with Norman Powell. DeRozan out there with Nogueira. And it's Siakam in at the 4 slot. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Well, guys, Raptors coach Dwayne Casey talked about the chemistry on his team. He said, we couldn't be better. There's no ego, no hidden agendas. Guys understand their roles. Kyle Lowry told me, we're a complete team, 15 deep, and we really mean that. You never know whose time it's going to be. Kevin?
And DA, depth is a crucial part of any team's success. When you can rely on your teammates to step up is huge. So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto, coming off that loss against Philadelphia.
Actually, I thought they might be able to sustain that momentum that they picked up in the fourth quarter, but was not meant to be.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Laverne, he's checked in for Gasol. LaMarcus Aldridge comes in for Kyle Anderson. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili. A new group in now for the Raptors. Valanciunas, he's checked in for Nogueira. Baca comes in for Pascal Siakam. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Lowry in for Wright. Aldridge kicks to Green. Gay in the corner. Back to Green. Outside Aldridge. Down low. Here's Laverne. Brent, the last team you played for, the Houston Rockets. Your dad, your older brother John, also played for the Rockets. What's this connection between the city of Houston and the Barry family?
I've asked them that same question in Houston, and I even talked to Daryl Morey about putting a Barry graveyard across the street where it is that all three of us, our career had ended. I'd love to see a tombstone over there with Rick, John, and Brent.
Well,
maybe we'll add a few more to it, Kevin.
Well, the way you played there, the way you played your career, and your family played, obviously you've set a standard in the league. But that was an interesting stop that you all were there at one time.
I think it's crazy that we all ended in Houston, though.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It is.
3 careers ending with one organization.
Isn't that something?
Weird.
Here's Powell, and the layup's good off the glass. Powell's got his second bucket of the game to go.
That was big because they dug a big hole in the first quarter, but starting to show signs of life.
And Laverne kicks to Green. Back to Laverne. Here's Aldridge. Good work defensively by Ibaka.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Well over a decade in the NBA for C.J. Miles, taken straight out of high school by the Jazz back in 2005.
And he's just now entering his 30s. A good floor spacer and solid defender at the 2 or 3 spot.
We talk so much about rhythm from the field. How about a rhythm from the free throw line? That looks good.
And to look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for Toronto.
And the one thing that jumps out at me when you look at that shot chart is just how little scoring they get from out above the free throw line extended 3-point range. They've got to get more points from out high if they want to improve their offense.
And the Spurs making a change here. Leonard's checked in. The shot's good. 8 points for Valanciunas.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Now the pass to Aldridge. From deep, Green. And Aldridge slams it in.
Love the follow-up. It's as if Aldridge knows where the shot's coming from and gets himself in great position on the glass.
Lowry dishes to Valanciunas. To the middle. It's stolen by Green. In transition, here come the Spurs. It's stolen by Ibaka, and out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. And the Spurs with some changes. Bertans, he's checked in for Aldridge. DeJounte Murray comes in for Green, and Tony Parker is subbed in for Patty Mills. And out of bounds as the Raptors gain possession.
All right, a chance to check out stats for Lowry. He's coming off an excellent season, 10th in assists. And with that effortless stroke, he climbed all the way to the top 15 in three-point percentage.
And his floor awareness was impeccable last season. As you mentioned, top 10 in assists, just does a great job of getting everyone involved.
Oh, great ball movement there.
And Leonard gets it to go. And Greg Popovich has led the Spurs to the playoffs in all 20 of the full seasons he's coached the team. But you know what, Brent? He always gives his players the credit.
Well, Pop knows that the players are the ones who deserve all of the accolades. But there's no doubt that there's an appreciation for the way that Pop continues to put his team and each member of the team into situations where they collectively can compete every year. And it's not about just competing for the playoffs, Kevin. I'm talking about competing for titles. What a run that Greg Popovich has been on.
And stolen by Murray, out on his own on the break. Drops in the breakaway layup. And now a 7-point Spurs lead.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end.
Yeah, a little surprised he missed that one so badly. The defense was nowhere to be found.
And Kawhi Leonard with the slam.
Well, there are some ways to fire up your teammates. That right there is one of them, thanks to Kawhi Leonard.
Raptors trail by 9. And DeJounte Murray gets the whistle that time. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
And that's the tough part of trying to keep him on the floor. Now he picks up that 3rd foul.
Back to DeRozan to stop the run. Rebound, San Antonio.
That's a shot you got to step up on. Wide open, no coverage. Good shooters don't miss that often.
The Spurs shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
And as a team, excellent. A season ago, about 80% when they got to the line.
And so Murray nails both of them. Here's DeRozan. And it comes off the front of the rim.
Yeah, momentum right now is against them. They're just going to have to figure out a way to ride this one out.
Got to be some consideration here for a different rotation because the matchups right.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime
Hey, everybody.
Show.
Ernie Johnson joined by Kenny the Jet. It's San Antonio out on top at halftime. They lead by 11. Shaq, what did you see from San Antonio?
The speed they're playing with has been fantastic. They're pushing the ball in transition and catching the defense.
And we're just about ready for the start of the 3rd quarter. Kevin.
We welcome you back to San Antonio. Always so much to do along the Riverwalk, which this bridge spans. Spurs leading by 11.
Well, the Spurs system hasn't changed through the years, but certainly some things being more emphasized than others. You had the post attack, certainly with Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and then it shifted to the drive and kick style with Manu and Tony Parker. And now they're back to playing the mid-range game with Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Filling out the wings, it's Green and Leonard. Laverne is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge, and it's Murray in at point. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with. Laverne passes to Murray. And the dunk by Aldridge.
Not just a great shot maker these days. Aldridge can still throw it down on you if you let him get all the way in.
And in the past, there's been a distaste for isolation basketball in the Spurs organization. But we're seeing more iso ball running through Kawhi and Aldridge.
Well, they do a great job of passing out of the post, and mainly that's the reason why they use it. Force teams to come down as the ball gets closer to the rim. and commit several defenders, and then the spacing takes over on the weak side. So they still utilize a pass-first style, and the isolation kind of sets up opportunities on the weak side.
The Raptors have looked good at the line tonight. They're perfect in 4 attempts. Valanciunas hits them both. San Antonio leading by 11. And Leonard has it in the corner. Outside, Green. The dish to Laverne. Murray kicks to Aldridge. That's in. That's his 5th field goal. He's shooting a hot 71%. 5 for 7. Raptors trail by 13. Toronto calls timeout. And with the emergence of Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge has become a secondary scorer in San Antonio. Brent, how do you like him in that role?
Well, I think that's where LaMarcus Aldridge really fits best, even in his time in Portland with the tremendous offensive output he had as one of the Blazers' greatest of all time. He's sometimes not leaned upon as being the primary scorer, even though that low block basically belongs to LaMarcus Aldridge.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
It seems like they've been at it on both ends tonight. Tremendous all-around play from them. Has them up quite a bit here.
Feeds to Valanciunas. Outside DeRozan. Plays it up and banks it in. DeRozan's got 6.
Tough to fault him for the struggles of the team so far. He has been solid. It's the rest of the guys that need to come along for the ride. And this is where you have to sharpen up your passing. That's a careless turnover.
A different look now for San Antonio. Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for Leonard. Ginobili comes in for Green, and it's Mills in for DeJounte Murray. There's a screen. Got a piece of it. Pass to Lowry. And the wide open shot from Miles. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry.
The defense cannot let guys get into that kind of comfort zone. You have to patrol the three-point line or you risk getting burned.
Anderson kicks to Ginobili. It's up a 3. The shot missing. Nice D from DeRozan. Outside Lowry. Ibaka wide open. He finds. Off target from outside. San Antonio leading by 10. Ginobili kicks to Anderson. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a 3-point play.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint. And in today's game, we're really so used to thinking of passing as the key to an efficient offense. But this Raptors club, they do it a different way. For them, that screen is the assist, giving their guards space to pull up or attack the rim.
Rudy Gay's checked in for San Antonio. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. And some changes here for the Spurs. Pau Gasol is checked in for Aldridge. And Parker's subbed in for Patty Mills. And Toronto also making a switch. White's checked in, and they double up DeRozan. 5 on the clock. And the Raptors miss again. And the Raptors for the last few seasons, Greg, right at the bottom of the league in assists.
Yeah, but nevertheless, they do make good decisions. They're a low turnover team, and they've been pretty efficient offensively. One area where you can offset that is by their ability. Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend.
And how? Brilliant throwdown. That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, it may not be the era of the center in the NBA, but Jonas Valanciunas has something to say about that. He said, I try to make sure they don't forget about centers. I'll keep reminding them. The league is full of guys that can do different things, but I still think you need a center that can rebound the ball and score in the low post. I agree. Kevin?
Well, the centers are still important, David. Good to see Valanciunas making his presence felt in the paint. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That's his 3rd foul of the game. The Spurs making a switch here. Bertson is checked in. Wright dishes to Nogueira. Back to Wright. Here's DeRozan. It's good. With that basket, he's now 5 for 9.
And his teammates have to step up just a little bit more. He's been lights out. needs a bit more support.
Raptors trail by 11. 35 seconds left to play in the third. Now here's Powell. He's covered by Ginobili. For Toronto, they have been perfect so far from the free throw line, 6 for 6. And the first one drops. A different look now for San Antonio. Leonard comes in for Rudy Gay. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili. He hits both from the stripe. We've got 28 seconds left in the third quarter. There's Ennis, the pass to Leonard. Green inside. DeRozan defending, and it's Green missing. And DeRozan kicks to right. Dishes to Powell. He feeds it to DeRozan. Over Green. That one's good. The San Antonio lead is cut down now to just 7 on the basket from DeRozan.
How about this run there in the midst of, on the verge of tying it up or maybe even taking the lead?
The aggressiveness has picked up on both sides of the floor, and I'm not sure what took them so long to muster that, but here we are.
And so it's San Antonio, bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. Back right after this. And now a sneak peek into the huddle with Greg Popovich.
Only difference is competitiveness. Stick with the strategy, stick with each other. Long night. Keep competing, keep pounding, keep pounding.
3 quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. On the court for Toronto to start the fourth. We've got Nogueira. White is out there with Powell. Then it's DeRozan. And it's Siakam in at the 4. Powell kicks to right. Shot clock at 6. There's the pick. There's the 3. But they get it back. Here's Nogueira. Right side. And finally, that one's good. Wright's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for Toronto.
Now is not the time to be giving him that kind of shot.
Well, there never really is, but you're right, especially coming down the stretch of a tight game. He's a guy you got to pay much closer attention to defensively.
Toronto calls timeout. And at this point of the game, getting a break here, important for the teams to regroup, and for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. Get ready to play strong to finish off the game. LaMarcus Aldridge is checked in for Davis Bertans. And Toronto will go for a different look here. Valanciunas is checked in for Nogueira. Ibaka comes in for Pascal Siakam. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Norman Powell. And Kyle Lowry subbed in for DeLon Wright. From the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, well, Dwayne Casey just going over the game plan with his team down the stretch. He is not happy with the sloppy play offensively. He said, make the easy play. Take care of the ball. We can't afford to just give away golden opportunities. We'll see if they can clean it up, guys.
Green dishes to Laverne. Aldridge kicks to Murray. Aldridge, the pass to Green. Spurs working the ball around now. And it's Laverne missing. Raptors trail by 7. And DeJounte Murray gets the whistle that time. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
And that's number 4. Definitely something to keep track of as we move forward.
Final quarter of play, about a minute and a half off the clock into it. And the foul called on Danny Green. That's his 4th foul of the contest. Now, here's DeRozan. Lowry has the open look. Good. And it's DeRozan picking up the assists.
And that's Lowry's shot right there. Always looking to capitalize from that range.
Murray kicks to Laverne. Passes it to Green. Here's Aldridge. And the rejection by Ibaka. From the stripe. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
Yeah, high percentage look there for Ibaka. He can be automatic in there.
Oh! Yes, sir. It looks like an orange in his hand, and Kawhi tenacious to the rim with that finish.
Raptors trail by 4. Lowry drawing the double team. Murray dishes to Green. Fires from 14. Here's Leonard. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. And the Spurs lead by 6.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Green against DeRozan. It's tipped.
Excellent anticipation from Laverne with the block. He constantly sends back shots with some velocity.
And then Leonard with the dunk.
So good at picking his spots. He always knows exactly what the team needs from him offensively. That's why they hold the lead.
And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Lowry.
And this is like another case of Murphy's Law right now, and it's been their own doing, really, just like we saw there.
Here's Murray. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Ibaka's got 3 rebounds now in this one. The feed to DeRozan. Up and in on the layup.
And you want to talk about high-volume scores. Just look at what DeRozan's doing tonight. He's been on a mission, putting his mark on this game in a big way.
.146 left in the fourth. Three-pointer, Lowry doesn't go for him. And San Antonio will go the other way with it. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Laverne passes to Murray. Green kicks to Leonard. He dishes it to Aldridge. Can't hit that one. Ibaka with some nice D. Raptors trail by 6. Pass to Valanciunas. Shoots from the elbow. And off the front iron, and in it goes.
Yeah, crucial basket there. And as long as they've got that mismatch, big on small, they've got to take advantage.
The more that you level up in the game of basketball, it becomes about the matchups, identifying the weakest link, and then exploiting it.
In the corner, Miles with it. Buries it. And that shot brings them to within just 1.
Oh, that is the play of the game.
Nothing more rewarding than hitting the big shot for your team.
To take the lead. Rebounded by the Spurs. Here's Leonard. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. Pulls it up. Yes! That one just took the air right out of the crowd.
There is no noise in the stands right now.
Here's Aldridge. Gets the bucket and the foul. Serge Ibaka picks one up there.
Well, he's made several All-NBA teams over the years, and this is just another reason why Aldridge, one of the coolest customers on the floor. Seems like the more that's at stake, the more he rises to the challenge.
Toronto calls timeout. They're behind by 2. 35 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, and his percentage from the field tonight seems almost made up. I didn't think it was possible to have that kind of success shooting the basketball. You need a little bit of luck, a bunch of hard work, and a whole lot of talent.
Knocked away. Leonard with the steal. Shot clock and game clock separated by...
Oh, come on. And now the go-to guy in these situations. Leonard can handle that kind of pressure in the big moment as well as anyone.
And the Raptors call time here. They're down by 4. 26 seconds left in the game. .26 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Lowry from outside. Laverne grabs the miss. Just a tiny lead for him.
And a chance to make it a little bigger right here.
And so they choose to intentionally foul.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
He doesn't hit the first, and that was the one they really wanted. He's got one more, though. And he does get the second one. And that puts them up by 5. And here are the Raptors now. Here's Valanciunas, screened by Ibaka. Deflects the pass. Lowry kicks to Valanciunas, and the pass to Ibaka. Fires the 3, off target. And so it's San Antonio with the win. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds.
Yeah, and for me, Kevin, what stood out is just the overall trust this group has in one another when it matters most.
All right, David, thank you. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Brent Barry.
On another planet, wrote it all. On the leave, better take to sleep. On the level you can't reach, this you can't teach. Get up, what she needs. Take it easy on the. I've been rolling on the deep end. Shawty, worth 1,000. What's that? Really solid. Like I'm, yeah. Rolling Japanese, still afloat. Rolling, I've been living like a goat. Rolling, on a boat. See, I've been rolling. Rolling Japanese, still afloat. Rolling, I've been living like a goat. Rolling, on a boat. See, I've been rolling.
I'm in your city, holla back. You know I had to give me some more racks. You know I had to put it on the map. Send me the address and not GPS. Then I pull up, yeah. I be the plug, I got for days. It's so good, she won't marry the kid. But it's still stuck in my way. Ooh, get out my face. I don't want it all, I just want to taste. We've been going up, I think we in space. But I do need my space. Whoa, I've been going up. She been with it, she just trying to on the rap, nigga from the 9. And she lean with it, I'ma lean in it. But while the money on my mind, got a shawty on the other line. And she beat twice, I decline. While I twice, I be fine, yeah. I'm good with that. I'ma leave you on that note. And I ain't got a trap phone, I might need a backup phone. Like, whoa, I can't.
Rolling Japanese, still afloat. Rolling, I've been living like the goat. Rolling on a boat. See, I've been rolling. Rolling Japanese, still afloat. Rolling, I've been living like the goat. Rolling on a boat. See, I've been rolling. See, I've been rolling. See, I've been rolling.
and Monte Carlos and El Dorado. So I'm waking up out of my slumber feeling like Rollo. So follow, it's showtime at the Apollo minus the Kiki Shepherds. With a bottle with a leopard print. Teddy, Pendergrass, cooler than Freddie Jackson, sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm. That warm in the dorm room at the AU. We two athletes might you, but you must have been mistaken with them statements.